Hi everybody. Today I wanted to teach a bit about your inner magnet. So I'm a little bit at a conflict here because I don't want to regurgitate just spiritual new agey stuff here about what it means to have a magnet, what it means to be a vibrational match to our reality, like blah blah blah. If you guys are here, you probably have all heard of it 1,000 times. But I do want to talk about the real truth about how our inner world creates our outer world and how our inner world is really calling in to be proven right over and over and over again. I do have a belief that we would rather be right than be happy 100% of the time. I would rather be right. I would rather my version of reality be true than to let my stories, to let my projections, to let my beliefs go in order to really let in light and receiving. And I struggle with it. A lot of people here struggle with it. If you've ever read the book Existential Kink, they talk about the deliciousness of struggle because it keeps us separate. Because if we were to let all that happiness in, if we were to really let go of the need to be right about how we believe about reality, to let in more excitement, truth, honesty, love, joy, fun, enjoyment, all of that, we would have a really hard time. It'd be really scary. We would kind of blow up into bits and pieces. So that's number one, is we have to first acknowledge that there is a story, there is like a movie script happening inside of our center that's similar to going to the movies where that film is playing inside of this small machine and it's getting played upon this screen. There's a layer that our reality runs in that. I'm not going to say all of reality works like that. There's layers beyond our control, but within our control, that's what's happening. There is a film being projected on a screen that we are running from our core. So your core is that inner magnet. Your core is that projector. And we want to just ask, what's in the film? Do we let the same story or the same script go over and over and over again? Are we checking what's actually in there? Are we cleaning it? Are we modifying it? So the first thing that we want to do is to clean it before we amplify it. Because if you got gunk in there and then you try amplifying that magnet, you're just going to amplify the gunk. So the first thing what we want to work on is, how do I clean my inner magnet? How do I clean that projector that's inside of me that is creating this reality? And one really simple way of doing it is going through the 3 R's, which is your rejections, your regrets, and your resentments. Sorry, I almost forgot what it was called. Your rejections, your regrets, and your resentments. Really easy. Just write it down. Who, what, when, why did I feel rejected? I got rejected in 11th grade from the choir, and I still have stuff about that, even though I have an amazing singing voice, and people always tell me whenever they hear me sing, I'm still like, I don't know, I got rejected in 11th grade. They didn't let me in the choir. That's holding back my light. Okay, next you're going to write out all of those lists of regrets. I, didn't say yes to dating this person because I was closed off, or I regret not listening to myself and going to a school or going to college because my parents wanted me to go there. Whatever those were, resentments are then the next part, which is, who do I resent? And this is not one of those pushing you to forgive people who have hurt you, or, God forbid, forgiving abusers. I think that's part of the grossness of the new age or personal development world. That's not actually what cleansing your magnet is, but it's about letting go of the hold it has over you. So I'm not okay with what happened, but I'm letting go of the grip it has on my heart. I'm letting go of the grip and control it has on my beliefs around reality, around the stories that I have around reality. So that's the basic way to clean your magnet. List out your rejections, list out your regrets, list out your resentments, and then do whatever ritual you want around that, whether that's burning it, ripping it up, dancing through it. You have to clear that out because there's a lot of junk there. And what's super cool is when you start having a practice of cleaning your magnet, you're already amplifying it, because you're just, same thing with a bunch of boxes in a basement. Just by cleaning out those boxes, there's more room in the basement. There's more spaciousness in your heart. And so that's the first way that we amplify the magnet, is just by first cleansing it. Then the second way is we have to get really into what is it that you desire. And think about that moment in The Notebook where Noah is asking Allie, like, what do you want? And she's like, I can't answer. He's like, what do you want? And she's like, I don't know. He's like, what do you want? And that's such an important, I learned so much about energy healing from that scene, because there is something so powerful when you know what you want and when you can click into your desires. I know for myself, when I can create, manifest the most when I have a very clear goal. When I have to, last year my car broke down, and I could either get a new car for $24,000 or I could fix my car for $10,000, which was already that car was already so old and it would have just lasted another year. So I had a really clear desire that I needed to make $24K in a month or less, so to have a car to move around. So once that desire got super clear, it happened super quickly. So you want to get real clear about what your desire is, real specific, and you want to also give yourself a timeline. And that's a wonderful way to amplify it, because you hone in. It's like taking that projector and moving it around until it gets really clear. So when we look at the screen, we see exactly what we're seeing. And then the second way to amplify it is to level up your pleasure. I know for one, I run a very strong endurance pattern. It's very scary for me to prioritize pleasure because I think it's a waste of time. But pleasure is power. Pleasure literally lifts up your vibration, and it makes everything juicy, and everything becomes attracted to you. So think about a woman who is radiant, a woman who is feeling herself, who is in total pleasure. She doesn't have to work hard. Things come to her. Same thing with all of our magnets. When we're in pleasure, the universe is attracted to us. So letting yourself become like honey. So that's a wonderful way to amplify it. So desire and pleasure. And then the last thing, which can only happen, all of this can only happen, is you practice safety. So you cannot step into pleasure, you cannot step into desire, you cannot step into reflection and introspection unless there's safety here. So if any of these practices still feel far away, that's because your body is still dysregulated. Your nervous system still doesn't know safety. So get yourself into safety. That's the number one thing. Get yourself into safe environments. Feel through that safety. Then work on the cleansing, and then work on the desire. Work on that amplifying. And it doesn't have to happen all at once, and you can do it almost like in rounds, like a little bit of each time, and your reality is going to start shifting. And yeah, I'm curious if anyone has any questions. You're welcome to write in the chat, and wishing y'all so much love and hoping that your holiday weekend is going well. Love you guys.